News broke of Union Pacific's steam schedule for the Westward bound tour. Now, this has changed considerably since their initial tour plans that were announced back in fall of 2023. But we're going to cover all the changes, what we know, what we still don't know, and kind of explain why it's skipping the Pacific Northwest. Starting with what we do know, Big Boy will journey from its home base in Cheyenne, Wyoming, starting on Sunday, June 30th. And it'll go to Roseville, California, before returning home by the end of July. So it's going to be out there for about a month, at least for this section of the tour. I'll get to the second half later. And it looks like the only public display stops they have planned are in Roseville, California, obviously that's where they're going to turn around, and in Ogden, Utah, kind of on its return trip. They haven't released any of the whistle stops, but there's going to be plenty of those. But unfortunately, a big part that's missing from this Western tour is the Pacific Northwest. In the article, they do list a little bit of an explanation as to why. They had anticipated including Boise, Idaho, and Portland, Oregon on the westbound tour. As planning continued, they determined that the network capacity on the northern quarter could not accommodate Big Boy 4014, along with anticipated demand on a single track. AKA, there's a lot going on in the Pacific Northwest, and having Big Boy moving around just for funsies is going to tie up a lot of other plans. I imagine planning something for something this big, and that's going to take up that much track space and need to accommodate, getting on and off of the tracks is going to be difficult in that kind of an area. Plus, the places where you could kind of move things around, you do have to take into account that even though this thing is designed to articulate, there's only so much that Big Boy can do. So tighter track is going to limit what tracks you can use to move things around and make this a bit of, again, a logistical nightmare to work around in some cases. Originally, it had sounded like this entire tour was going to be announced in one chunk, but as it appears, it's going to be split up into two, but they are still making planned stops in Texas, Arkansas, Kansas, and Chicago, Illinois, among other states that it literally just has to pass through in order to get to those. But they haven't released details on that. Those will get released later as well. And also with the timing on this tour, because the second half of the tour will happen after the first half, that also means that anyone planning to see Big Boy again at the College World Series, which they have done many times in Omaha, Nebraska, that's just not going to happen. It's going to be too late in the season before it comes back through this neck of the woods in order for it to visit for the College World Series. I know that's a popular time to see Big Boy, but it ain't going to happen this year. So what do you guys think? I kind of already know your answer if you live in the Pacific Northwest. It's a bummer that it's not heading up that way, but it makes sense. Where do you plan on seeing Big Boy this summer? Are you making plans to travel to one of the cities that it's supposedly going to be passing through? Leave a comment down below. Always remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to cover this the rest of the summer, so stick with us, and we'll see you on the next one.